Radio. It's February 23rd, 2026. You're on my 13-mile commute home. Welcome to the show. Actually, it's 13 miles to the grocery store where I'm stopping to get something for dinner. But we appear to have plenty of time because Google is showing red across the board my entire trip home. Hoorah! So anyway, hey, welcome everybody. It's Monday. Day in the office. One of my days in the office now. So that we do a show. Welcome. I did want to no more rants today. I don't have the energy. It's Monday afternoon. I'm too tired for that nonsense. So I do want to talk about a couple of movies that I saw recently. Some TV shows that I've been watching recently. You guys seem to like it when I talk about media sometimes. So let's talk about that. Let me see here. Live chat. Perfect. So I took in the fan favorite Housemaid. The Housemaid with Sydney Sweeney and what's her face? The big bug-eyed chick. Can't even remember her name. It just totally eludes me every single time. But yeah, so it's one of those kind of thriller scenarios, right? I don't want to give too much away because there's a couple of, nasty little plot twists in there. But yeah, it was good. One-time watcher. I've seen a lot better thrillers than that. And I think there was a lot of... You know what I've noticed? Now that I think about it? There's a lot of exposition in these shows. Nothing is left to chance. They have to tell you everything about everything. And it's kind of like, yeah, we could have pieced this together. You didn't need to spend, 15 minutes giving us the whole backstory. It would have been fun to have a little bit of mystique in there. But it's pretty good. Kind of, once you had the main sort of secret or plot twist, you're good. You can predict it all the way to the end. No problem at all. It was all right. It was all right. And yes, you get to see Sydney Sweeney naked. I know that's what you ask in the comments. Is she naked? Yeah, she's naked. At least for a little bit anyway. But yeah, it was decent. It's worth a watch. I mean, you could do a lot worse with your time. Now, let me tell you about a movie that I saw. This surprised the shit out of me. So, I think I talked about VFW not that long ago with Stephen Lang, which is weird. Just leave me alone. With Stephen Lang, which is weird. Stephen Lang is one of those guys that you look at him and you go, kind of know that guy, but what the hell do I know him from? And now he's like, almost like this sort of action star, and the dude is an old dude, and it's pretty good. It's called Hellfire, and it is a love letter to the 80s. 80s, yeah, I'd say more the 80s than the 90s. I'm talking like every movie that you might like, Roadhouse, Rambo. I mean, there's tons of hat tips. Okay, blatant theft, and it doesn't have the greatest story. It's a little slow in the first reel. You got to sit through like 17 studio intros at the beginning of it. It's kind of like one of those ones where you're watching it going, why am I watching this? This better get better. And then you're going, oh shit. Well, there's Rambo. Okay. There's Roadhouse. And you're sitting there going, okay, but you know what? I dig this. And then you get to the action stuff, and you get into plenty of action in here. And, action movies don't feel the same anymore. Let me get this gum out of here. Ugh. Action movies do not hit the same way anymore. When you think of action today, you think of stupid shit like Marvel movies. That's not action, dude. I don't even know what they call that. It's a superhero movie, right? When I'm talking action, I'm talking about watching two nice guys beat the living fuck out of each other. I'm talking about no shaky cameras, no pulling the cameras away all the time, no CGI stand-ins. I'm talking about just two people beating the fuck out of each other, using weapons of opportunity, and just, yeah, maybe sometimes going, oh, come on, you just took a freaking shiv to the head and he's still running around? Come on! That didn't happen in the movie, by the way. Just using that as an example. But, yeah, so there's some of that, and you're sitting there, you're looking, And so you're looking at Stephen Lang. He's not a young dude, but he's not as old as you think he is. So you're watching him fighting, you're going, this guy's like half his age, double his build, and Stephen Lang is doing just fine against him. And you start rolling your eyes a little bit, and then you think, oh, wait a minute. If a freaking 80-pound chick can beat up 3 bodyguards bigger than her, dude, this is at least close to reality. You know, this guy's like special forces. At least he knows how to fight. So yeah, so I was watching it, and I then I went up and I looked at the reviews on IMDb. I don't go to any of those fucking loser sites. I go to IMDb and see what the normal person says about it. And there were a few people that, you know, didn't have kind things to say. And I'm like, guys, this is an 80s action movie, man. You're not here for fucking CGI. One guy was bitching about, I don't know, something about the special effects. Dude, what special effects? This is an 80s beat the fuck out of each. This is like, you know, bad guy runs a small town, good guy shows up, has to liberate the town, blah, blah, blah. It's super violent. There's blood and fucking gore everywhere. I love it. It was great. It was great. It didn't take itself too seriously. It was just tons of fun to watch. So it's called Hellfire. Don't ask me where to watch it. It's not available on physical media yet, which is too bad because I will 100% pick that one up. I picked up VW or VFW. I thought that was great. Another Stephen Lang movie, which was really good. I mean, listen, the bar is really low these days. So I get pretty excited when I see anything that even remotely resembles a movie not made in this decade. So yeah, it was good. Oh yeah, you watched a fun movie, right? Yeah. It's a fun movie. Listen, you don't expect a lot. Fast forward the first 2 or 3 minutes. You don't have to sit through all the freaking studio things. But yeah, I thought it was fun. Again, I need a little violence. And you know what? What was really nice is I didn't see any blatant CGI shit. So if there was CGI in there, they hit it well. You know, back to the squibs, back to the practical effects, and it looks great. It holds up. In 10 years, this movie will still look great. Let's see if I can get myself merged in here without getting crunched. Nice. Why don't you come over here? Yeah, so anyway, those are the 2 movies I watched recently. House of Sparta is over. That's the Spartacus spin-off show. I'm game for a second season. Is it Spartacus? Nah. Is it decent? Yeah, it's worth watching. The whole female gladiatrix thing doesn't bother me. I'm usually in it for the fucking. I'm talking about not necessarily the sex, of which there is much of, but I'm talking about all of the backstabbing, nastiness that happens in these Roman shows. I love it. I love watching everybody screwing everybody over. It's awesome. Big fan. So yeah, I thought it ended well. So, you know, if they don't, I mean, I'll be sad if they don't put another season out because it didn't have a definitive clipped end. But yeah, overall, I thought it was fine. Great. I mean, I will own it on physical media when it comes out. Put it next to my other Spartacus discs. I'll be happy. So that's over. So now I'm watching 2 shows. Pretty much only 2 shows now that I think about it, because there's not much else to watch. But I'm watching The Beauty, which is one of those Ryan Murphy shows. He's the one that does like American Horror Story, and so there's always crazy shit going on with that guy. And I'm watching Dark Winds, show I've been talking about on the show here for a while. Dark Winds started season 4, already picked up for season 5, by the way, which to me is great. I like the show a lot. This season's been, I think, 3 episodes in, 2 or 3 episodes in. It's starting off a little weaker than I would have hoped. The one where he's fucking dreaming up the fucking guys trying to kill him and shit, that was a great season. This one's starting off a little slow, but I'm still in. It's still entertaining, still good. But The Beauty is my current favorite show. And so let me give you a quick synopsis. First off, Ashton Kutcher is in it, and you wouldn't even know it was him at first. I don't know if they messed with him with like prosthetics, but I mean, he kind of doesn't look like him. I mean, like 2 or 3 episodes to even realize it was him, which is nutty. because I am a fan, especially after Butterfly Effect. I like 70s Show. He was goofy ass Kelso, but like Butterfly Effect like really cemented me as a fan. Great, by the way. Watch the theatrical cut. Don't watch the director's cut. I mean, if you feel you have to have a couple of extra scenes and a weird ass ending, watch the director's cut. But just watch the theatrical cut first. Then you can watch the other one if you're so inclined. But anyway, so The Beauty, it's interesting. I'm going to try not to give any real spoilers away. But the basic idea is they figured out a way. This scientist figured out a way of essentially reprogramming your DNA, and essentially you end up being perfect, right? I know you're thinking The Substance. I thought so too, and I was all on board because I like The Substance. No, different than The Substance, which is good. It needs to stand alone. But essentially the idea is that they figured out a way to purify your DNA. You take one shot, you fucking end up in a crazy ass cocoon, you bust out, you are literally like the butterfly. Lots of symbolism in here. But yeah, and when you come out, you are perfect. Perfect. Like super hot, super jacked, super ripped, perfect body, males and females, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. No, you come out perfect. You're youthful, you're perfect, you never get sick, you can eat whatever you want. You've got the perfect metabolism, blah, blah, blah. And so that's sort of the premise, right? Now, nothing like that, monkey's paw style, right? Nothing like that comes without consequences. So, of course, there are strings attached to The Beauty. But it's really cool, though. It's more like if you watch the first couple of episodes when they're really setting up the gory shit, it's a gory show. But I mean, what do they call it? Body horror? Yeah, the first couple of episodes, you're gonna kind of watch going, okay, maybe I'm not in, right? Because they go like all the way. They really want you to know what's going on. So it's pretty graphic. But then they flip sort of to story mode, and so you end up having a current story going on. Plus, they give you sort of a rollback as to how The Beauty was invented, where what happened with. Again, I don't want to give any spoilers away, but it's good. It's good. I mean, I like Ryan Murphy's stuff anyway, so I don't think there's anything he's ever done that I haven't liked. He was also responsible for Dr. Odyssey, which obviously got canceled, unfortunately. But but he's involved in everything. That fucker's got so many shows on. He's worth so much money. Good for him. But yeah, I've been watching that. That's been really good. And they're short episodes. So like, you can get caught up like easily in the night before bed, right? 30, 35, 45 minutes. Excellent characters, which Ryan Murphy's great at. Great characters. You get really invested. It's so great. There's like, so this was funny. Oh, man, I don't know if I can tell it without like a spoiler. Fuck. Let me see if I can tell it in a way that's not a spoiler. So this couple, let me say, I'm going to try to be really careful. This couple, older, middle-aged, guy's a little heavy-set, chick's a little worse for wear, and they have a daughter that's sick, and circumstances come about, I'm not going to tell you how, where they get the beauty, they get the treatment. And so, of course, they come out of their cocoons, and I mean, like, of course, like literally like 10 out of 10 people, like unbelievable, young, hot. And they come out and they got like almost like a Leeloo Dallas stitching on, right? They got practically nothing on. Now remember, this is AMC, so you're not going to see any nudity, but as close as you're going to get. Plenty of gore, obviously. Anyway, and they come out of the room like holding hands or something, and they run into Ashton Kutcher, and he's like staring at him. And in my head, I thought exactly what he said, and he's like, wow, I would fuck both of you. And it was great. I mean, it was just the timing and everything was amazing. So, yeah, I really like the show. It's really fun. It's really fun. If you like the body Aliens Earth, I do not have an opinion. Haven't watched that. What are we watching here? Blood of Zeus currently. Don't know about that one either. I guess I'm gonna have to do some soul searching and see if there's some other stuff to watch. Let's see, what else has been going on? Been collecting more vinyl. Okay, so my trip to Goodwill this last weekend, I went to Goodwill. Didn't really know what I was looking for. In fact, I wasn't even planning to go to Goodwill, which is weird. I wasn't planning on going to Goodwill. I made a trip out to Fallout Games, which is a retro gaming place. I don't know, it's like 10 minutes from my house, so it's not too far away. But I had to return a couple of controllers that I bought from them for the Commodore 64 Ultimate, because while I thought they would be functional, they were actually like flashback controllers. Don't ask. But anyway, so I had to take a couple of those back, and they weren't open yet, which is weird. It was 11 o'clock on a Saturday. I would have thought they'd have been open, but whatever. So I decided to see if there was a Goodwill nearby, and I went to one that I'd never been to before. Little tiny Goodwill, very small, very compact, but super clean. You know, Goodwill is hit and miss. If you do the rounds, right, there's probably 15 Goodwills in the greater area that I mean, more if you're willing to travel a little bit further, but there's probably 15 that I frequent. And I go to a certain set. They're kind of grouped around the city. And so I'll go to 3 or 4 here, go to 3 or 4 over here. Anyway, this one I'd never been to. It was like 6 minutes away from Fallout. And I went up there. And first off, I've never seen that many Blu-rays ever at a Goodwill. I mean, like stacks of Blu-rays. Now, unfortunately, they didn't have anything that I needed and or wanted, but I was like, holy shit, I've never seen. And then they had like a really good CD section. But the neat thing is I found something pretty cool in the electronics section, something I was kind of like loosely looking for, but it showed up and I'm like, this is a sign. And I'm going to have a video out on it in the next probably day, so I won't want to spoil it. But yeah, so it was kind of cool. And I ended up picking that up. So that was a nice find. That was a great find. And believe me, if I didn't have the huge movie collection I already have, I would have made out like a freaking bandit. But then I thought, okay, one more on the way home. And it's one that I've been to recently, so you know, you don't expect there to be anything fun. And so I go in there and I hit the electronics first. It was a bust, nothing there. So I went over to the media section. Holy shit. So normally I just go through the CDs. In this case, I went through the CDs, but I then decided to take a chance and dig through the vinyl. I know what you're thinking. Goodwill's probably not the best place to get vinyl. Why? Well, first off, it's Goodwill. Lightly used, right? Yeah, well, have you seen some of the records and discs and shit that are at Goodwill? It looks like Rottweilers went wild in there. Whew, that's a tough one. Anyway, so I usually don't look at records. And if you do look at the records, it's like old 50s show tunes and like Guy Lombardo and shit you've never heard. You never find pop records at Goodwill. So I'm digging through the records and I come across a Laura Branigan record. Here's a true story. I'm going to take a quick segue here because you guys love the backstories. So Laura Branigan, she died young. What was it? She had a brain embolism, something like that. She was like 35 or something, and she was a pretty decent singer in the 80s. She had probably like 5 top 40 hits, I think, something like that. She was doing fine. She's doing fine. Brain embolism got her. One of those things, just like dropped dead on the spot. Terrible thing. And but here's the interesting thing. Here's what makes her story interesting. Well, kind of interesting. I was like 13 or 14 when she was sort of at her peak, right? Laura Branigan. And my mom and I had fled Idaho. For those of you who know the backstory there. We'd fled Idaho, landed in Wenatchee, and my mom was dating guys for the first time in like 20 fucking years. So she was going through them like shaking bake bags for a while. Not slutty, just out there dabbling away. Anyway, he had some weird boyfriends. But anyway, the one that eventually ended up becoming my stepdad, which I just call him Dad. He and I have a really good relationship. So she started seeing him, but then I guess there was something about him that kind of like, I don't know what the hell she was thinking, because she couldn't have done better than this guy. Anyway, so she started dating around a little bit, a couple of weirdos, but there was this one guy. The guy looked like kind of like Chris Christopherson, like my mother. That's like a nasty Freudian slip, right? My mother likes older dudes. Maybe that's why she didn't like him, because he's younger than her, the guy that she ended up with. Anyway, so she went after the Chris Christopherson dude, and she was kind of serious. I think she was putting out. Anyway, he seemed okay, right, for whatever. But it was enough where I got to meet his family. Well, he was divorced, I think. Maybe not. Maybe she was doing the deed. Anyway, I don't know. But I did get to meet his daughter, and I had the hugest crush on her. Holy shit. I think she was like a year or two older than me. But here's where this all comes back to Laura Branigan. She looked a lot like Laura Branigan. And I think Laura Branigan was pretty hot. I do. But anyway, so the guy's daughter looked exactly like her. And I do seem to remember rifling through her panty drawer or something like that. Listen, I was 14. The hormones control everything. But anyway, that obviously didn't work out. Never saw her again. Never got to date her or anything. But yeah, that's how every time I see Laura Branigan now, I think, oh my God, that's her. That looks just like her. Anyway, so I got the Laura Branigan, and it was, listen, it wasn't like greatest hits or anything, but it was pretty good. I had a couple of her hits on it. And so I got that, and I'm like, wow, that's a great find. You never find pop stuff at Goodwill. Then I'm flipping through, and I find the fucking Holy Grail. Now, you're not going to think it's the Holy Grail, but to me, it's one of the Holy Grails. The Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack. By the way, if you're of a certain age, you may have forgotten how great of a soundtrack Beverly Hills Cop was. Unfucking believable. Glenn Frey, Pointer Sisters. It's like the Axel F theme. It's unbelievable. That whole record is just a complete fucking crazy shit. And there it was at the Goodwill, like $2.99 used record. And it was in top shape. It had the internal sleeve, the disc, the record did look like it had never even been played. It was fucking incredible. So it was like, wow, this is amazing. How can I get any better than this? Flip. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe I got lucky and there will be more pop music in there. There was not. But after I pulled aside a couple of records, I found a stash of, ready for this? I found a stash of 45s. Not just 45s, but like pop 45s. Like Lionel Richie and St. Elmo's Fire and what the fuck? Power Station, Some Like It Hot. Dude, that's fucking nuts. I had no 45s. I was never planning on buying 45s, but they were right there for $1 a piece. Who's going to stop you? What are you going to do? You're going to buy the 45s. So I grabbed the 45s, and then get this. I went back to the electronics one more time to make another pass. This is crazy. This is batshit crazy. So I see a box on the shelf, and I'm like, why do I know that logo on that? A plain, kind of a plainish white box like this big. And I'm like, what is that box? Why is my eye being drawn to it? And there's a logo on the front that says eSun. Little E-S-U-N. I'm like, wait a minute. Is that filament? 3D printer filament at Goodwill? And I go to, the box is brand new. It's gray, but I don't have gray yet. A brand new unopened box of gray eSun freaking PLA filament. How about that? $8. Brand new, full roll of freaking filament, still sealed in the box. What a day at Goodwill, right? What a freaking day at Goodwill. So that's what I was doing last night. I was cleaning up some records and shit. It was awesome. Listening to some tunes. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so, that's what I did over the weekend. Oh, I also went to, like, our 5th drag brunch. So this is crazy shit. Let me tell you about this. Now, drag brunch is, first off, okay, you might be thinking only gay people go to drag brunches. Who goes to drag brunches anyway? I gotta admit, when I first heard about it, I was not in. I was not in. And my wife's like, come on, it'd be fun. And I'm like, I don't know, guys dressed up as chicks? What do we do with that? You know, if it was a strip club, I'd get that. I mean, right, there's, you know, naked chicks. But what are we going to do with a bunch of dudes dressed up as chicks who, like, lip sync to pop tunes? What are we doing with that? And he goes, come on, don't be so smart. Let's go. So we went. And damn it, it was a great time. It was funny. Great music was being played. It was, and here's the best part. It's the people. It's the people that you meet at Drag Brunch. It's everybody. Don't even think for a second that it is some big gay scene. It is not. You know who goes to drag brunches? Old people. No shit. And so we ended up, so we've managed to add people to our group. So my wife's talking to her family, and her mom said she wants to come. Right? So we brought her. And she had a great time. And then she's like, I'm going to bring my sister next time. So now we're up to 4 of us. My wife's brother was in town this weekend, and my aunt-in-law decided she was going to bring 2 more people. We had 2 full tables of 4 people apiece. We had 8 people at Drag Brunch, and everybody had a great time, including my aunt-in-law's husband, who, by the way, I can't believe he was there. This guy's a conservative dude. I'm going to leave it at that. But damn it, he had a good time. You know, it's unbelievable. So, and here's the funny part. This Drag Brunch shit, when we started, it was like 3 rows of tables on either side of this room and then some space in the balcony, but like nobody sat up there. When we went this time, there were 5 rows of tables. The whole floor is packed. The balcony is packed full. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, dude. This is a red state. You do not expect to see freaking tables and tables and tables of people at Drag Brunch. But it was. We brought like the most conservative dude we knew, and he had a great time. So just keep that in mind. If you're thinking Drag Brunch ain't for me, maybe check it out. I don't know. I'm a believer now. So it's like every other month we go to see a show. It's pretty cheap. You get fed, right? We booze it up a little bit. Have a good time. And again, my mother-in-law, you know, I think she's a little homophobic and a little racist maybe sometimes, right? I mean, that's the generation, that's the age, right? They got to say the N-word whenever they wanted to, and you know, like my grandmother-in-law, I think either her or her husband or both were in the Nazi party. Come on, I mean, this is not the family you would see at Drag Brunch, but anyway. So that's what I did yesterday. That was the Sunday morning event. So I don't know, man. It was fun, and like I said, pretty cheap. It's close to home. Don't have to really make an appointment. So anyway. So yeah, let's see what else has been going on. It's like I said, it's been pretty quiet. Otherwise, I've got tons and tons of shit coming up on the channel. God, I've got too much to do. Peace and love. Peace and love. I've got too much shit to film. So I got reached out to today by the guy that's maintaining the Final Cartridge 3. If you're a Commodore 64 fan from the old days, there were sort of 2 camps out there. There was the Action Replay cartridge people, and there were the Final Cartridge people. And you sort of had to pick sides. It was sort of one of those classic, those classic conflicts, you know, Atari versus Commodore. It was sort of like Final Cartridge versus Action Replay. It was crazy. But anyway, so he reached out to me, and he's like, I've got this new firmware version. It's got all these cool new features, blah, blah, blah. We'd love you to feature it on the show. And so now I've got some guy from Germany. That's the Nazi thing tipped me, okay? I'm sure he's not a Nazi. I'm positive he's not a Nazi. But anyway, so he reached out, and he's like, man, I'd really like you to, show it on the channel. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah, and he had a few actual hardware copies. And I'm like, dude, if you have hardware, I'll buy one. I mean, I would like to, it's fun to play with like simulation, like with ROMs and stuff like that. But like I did with the Action Replay, I want to show you the cartridge because this is part of history, right? The ROMs and, soft freezing and all that stuff. Yeah, that's fine. But it's a lot cooler when you have the hardware. So I'm excited to get that. I don't have no idea how long it'll take to get here from Germany, but I'm all excited about it. I had a company I'd never heard of send me a controller they wanted me to use. And I've been using this controller as my main daily driver for 2 weeks now. I'm ready to pass judgment. That's coming up. I'm excited about that. Got a lot to talk about with that one. What else have I? Oh shit! I totally forgot about the story about the magnetic cable. Crap! I don't think I've got time. I'm gonna try though. Somebody reached out to me, Jessica. Yeah, right. Okay, Jessica. I'm sure it's some dude named Ping Chong or something. That's not a racist thing. I'm just saying it was like from China or something. And Jessica's not typically a Chinese name, I don't think. But anyway, so they reached out to me and said, "Hey, we saw your video on magnetic cables, and we would like you to test out ours and give us your honest opinion. You know, no, we'll send it to you free of charge. We don't expect a good review or a positive review. We just want your honest review." And so after having my freaking YouTube channel hacked by Bitcoin fuckers, I'm a little more careful now when I engage with these people. I reverse checked the domain name. I did all that shit. Looks completely legit. We have back and forths. They send me product. I get it in the mail. It's sealed product from the company. Everything lines up. I'm reviewing it. I'm asking questions. They're giving me answers. And the only reason that anything came about was because I couldn't find the tips. I'd already shot the video. I already shot the video for the cable itself, but I hadn't shown the tips yet. No tips. I didn't have any tips. They weren't in the box. So I write back and I'm like, "Hey, sorry to bother you, but I don't have any tips. I can't show the thing off without any tips." And she's like, she's like, let me check with shipping and see what happened. And she goes, "Oh, sometimes they send the tip separately from the box. They put it in the envelope with the box. And so you may have to go back and look in the packaging." I'm like, "Well, shit, I threw the packaging away. I don't have the packaging." And she goes, "I'll get you another set." Well, then I found the tips and I reached back out to let her know, don't ship them. And the mail bounces. Wait, it didn't bounce. It fucking disappeared. So I'm like, so I go back and look through my Gmail. This is all Gmail. I look through my Gmail. I can't find her. I can't find the thread. I can't find her email. And I'm like, could I have deleted it by accident? You know how it is. You click, delete. Did I delete it? Look at my spam. Look at my trash. It's gone. And I just worked with her like 3 days before. The email is gone. Like it never happened. I'm like, how can that be? How can that be? I've been corresponding for 3 months. Where's the email? So I don't know what to do. So I'm like, okay, I do subscribe to Google One. I know I didn't fucking make this shit up in my head. I've got product from them. So I go out to Google One support, right? Because if you pay, if you pay for Google One, you can actually talk to a human, not AI. So I got in a queue waiting to talk to a human. And so I'm like, God, what was her email? It was like something at Voltex Cables or whatever. And so I type in like Voltex Cable, and there's an address, but not the one I used to talk to her. It's like AD or something. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So like, I'm like, okay. So just for fun, I take that AD at Voltex, whatever, and I sent an email saying, I was working with Jessica. I can't find our email. Here is the whole, here's the story of what I got. Can you put me back in contact with her? I have some more questions. I want to get the review done, blah, blah, blah. So I send that off, and I'm still waiting for like an hour in line with Google, right? So I go to Gemini, which I am using personal intelligence. I told you, I've got a digital master. It's Google. I may bitch and whine about Facebook and shit, but Google's got my shit. They've already got it. I might as well use them to my benefit. So I send Gemini, and I say, listen, I had emails from this Jessica at this cable company. It was in my Gmail. It is no longer there. What the fuck? And and Gemini's like, do I have your permission to look at your email? I'm like, yeah, fuck, you're looking at it anyway. So it goes in, it's like, I don't see anything. Could you mean this or this? And it's like the fucking speakers and shit. I'm like, no. It was a cable. And it's like, I don't see it anywhere. Can you check your spam? Can you check the... I'm like, dude, I wouldn't even be here if I had fucking done all that shit. And he's like, okay, let me check something real quick. And then it comes back and it says, I found your email. And I'm like, what? And it's like, your email is still inside, it's inside your account, but it's no longer indexed. So you can't see it, but I can. I'm like, shit, yeah, let's get that shit back online, right? And it's like, there's nothing I can do about it. You'll need to contact somebody over at Google to re-index the email into your account. And I'm like, okay. Well, tell you what, can you give me the email? Can you tell me the contents of the email? And I can get the Gmail address, and then I could write her back, or the domain address. I could write her back, and I could get shit going. And so they're like, yeah. Let me give you the last conversation. No. Give me the whole thing. Dude, you have to fucking fight AI for everything. Here's the last 2 or 3. No, just give it all to me. So finally they give me the whole thread. And I get a note back from the AD account that I sent to. And they're like, there's no Jessica here. No, Jessica doesn't work. There's no Jessica here. We didn't reach out to you. We're happy to send you new cables and tips, but we haven't been talking to you. I'm like, the fuck you haven't? Here, look, here's Jessica's emails, all of them right here. And I sent them back over. And she's like, and so the woman that writes back from the AD account, she's like, she doesn't work here. I'm like, how the fuck does that happen? She sent me your product. Well, what would be the point of that? Right? And how come her email just disappeared out of my account, like out of thin air? Still don't have an answer, by the way. Don't know. But, I'm working with the new company now. But she's like, can you take a picture of the box? We need to find out how this person is sending you shit from our warehouse, that sort of thing. I got entrenched in this big fucking deal. But yeah, it was crazy. I'm like, so if you're missing email, send Gemini out to get it. At least they can tell you, they give you some sort of an ID, an index ID, that you could then go to Google One and have it restored. But the fact is, I had the content, so I didn't need the emails restored. But I'd love to know what's going on. Why did Google de-index that email? How did that happen? Was it a coincidence? And by the way, once I had the email address that Jessica at whatever, or no, it was media relations or something at, I sent that email address a request and it bounced. So the shit that I've been working with her for 3 months bounced. All the email was just fucking ghosted out of my account, and I still don't know really what's going on. Nutty. But anyway, I had to tell that story because I totally forgot about it, and I wanted to get that out. Okay, I gotta get to the store. I'm sitting here parked in the parking lot. People are probably walking by going, what's that fucker doing? All right, man. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Take care. Shane R. Monroe, Passion City Radio. We'll see you next time. We'll